Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thanks for the salawat, but I really enjoyed the clapping. Okay, so as Farhan gave a pretty good introduction, I don't think I need to say more, but I feel that before starting to speak to you, it's important that you know something about me. I'll give you 3 facts about 3 loves of my life and 1 crazy fact. So the first love of my life is shoes. I love shoes. I have over 100 pairs of shoes, or maybe a little more. The second love of my life is chocolates. Love chocolates. And the third love of my life, what's the third love of, my children. Most important. So these are the 3 loves of my life. And 1 crazy fact about me, which some of you know, but for those who don't, is I love being caught by traffic police. Some people, when they see traffic police, they start shaking, they start panicking. When I'm driving, if I see traffic police, I try and catch their eye. Catch me. I love it. The platform that we are on today, public speaking, is something that has always helped me throughout my life. For example, when I'm buying chocolates, my husband would say, "Do you think you need these chocolates?" I would say, "I'm buying it for dessert, buying it for the kids, buying it for anybody but me." So my talking gets me to buy chocolates. Shoes. One day he saw my shoes and he goes, "What do you think you are, an octopus? So many pairs of shoes." The thing with men is that you don't understand. There's formal shoes, there's informal shoes, there's shoes to go to town, there's beach shoes, there's wedding shoes, and then there's matching shoes, right? So I think my number of 100 or 100 and, I don't want to get into the exact number, is pretty decent and growing. Though, of course, with the COVID and pandemic that's happening, my shoes thought I've died because I had nowhere to go and no place to wear them. But that's another thing. And as for getting caught by police, the ability to talk myself out of trouble has always helped me. There have been times when once I told the police, "You know what, you've harassed me so much, now you give me chai money." And he did, which I took it. And then I got a big lecture that it's haram, bribery, whatever. But anyway, it was the other way around. So perfect the art of speaking. Trust me, it gets you out of tight places, right? Now, coming to the main points. Whenever you want to speak at an event, you are always given a topic or a speech you have to prepare for. And when you're choosing the subject of your speech, there are certain points that you have to keep in mind. The first one, what is the event about? Like, sometimes you're told, "Please come to this place and speak." We'll tell you spur of the moment. Sometimes it's possible. Sometimes it's not. If it's a commemoration for someone's death anniversary, and you as a speaker have a sense of humor and usually tend to crack a joke, cracking a joke at a death commemoration is a big no-no. There's no way you can do that. So always, always do your groundwork. What is the place or the event about where you're going to be speaking? Secondly, it's very, very, very important to know your place as a speaker. Are you going to be the first speaker, the opening speaker? You're going to be speaking in between? Or are you going to be giving the closing speech, vote of thanks, concluding the whole event? Once you know this thing, you can tailor-make your speech accordingly. If it's a vote of thanks, you do know the energy levels of the audience, of the public have gone down. So you need to wrap things up very quickly and finish it in short. If it's an opening speech, you know you need to grab people's attention. You need to have all your information out there, benefit from it, right? Thirdly, know your audience. Very, very important, right? You should know what age category they are in, what their backgrounds are. I'm not telling you to find out too much about them, but you should know if they're the elderly or middle aged or younger ones. Give you an example with what happened to me. Last year, when the pandemic had started, there were a lot of people who weren't taking things very seriously. They weren't masking, they weren't sanitizing, they weren't keeping a social distance. So I was asked to speak at a community for women about dangers of COVID. And I had just gotten out of my own personal battle with COVID, which was very, very bad. So I prepared my talk, I took the statistics, I took all the info, and I got there. When I'm entering that place, and given the mic, and I look at the audience, they were elderly ladies, 60 and above. My speech that I had prepared was in English. These ladies did not know a word of English. While I took the mic and started, one of the people in charge of the program came to me and whispered, Shirin bhai, can you please do the speech in Gujarati or Kutchi? And I'm like staring at her because English is my, I won't say mother tongue, but it's the language that I'm most comfortable in. I speak in English, I think in English, I do everything in English. So it took me 2-3 seconds, but in those 2-3 seconds while I was like, preparing myself, the audience could see. I tried to fake it, I tried to keep a, confident face, but now to think of certain words connected to the pandemic in Gujarati and Kutchi was a challenge for me. Whose fault was it? Mine. I should have checked with them what language do they speak, what language should I address them in. I just naturally assumed the speech would have to be in English. So be very, very mindful of your audience. Last but not least is to know your topic. Whatever you're talking about, it's very, very important to do your research and to have your facts. See, there are certain times in life when you can bluff your way out. You can fake it till you make it. But there are certain times when you can't, right? I'll give you 2 examples. So once I was speeding because I was super late for an event. My fault. I left late from home. Guess what happened? My favorite crazy fact, got caught by police. I was so late, I didn't know what to do. And him stopping me, I knew another 5-10 minutes would go. So the police goes, you were speeding, whatever, and I started coughing. And he goes, what's wrong? I said, see, sometimes it's an advantage to eat chocolates because I'm big. So, and I was coughing. He said, what's wrong, Mama? Are you expecting? I said, yes, I am. Put an imaginary child in my stomach and pretended I'm pregnant. And I said, yes, I am. And he's like, oh my God, okay, go. He didn't realize which pregnant woman would go to the hospital herself, but that's not my issue. See, I made it. But before going there, I said, thank you so much. He goes, do you need help? I said, no. I asked him, what's your name? He said, my name's Harold. Finish, I went away. The next day, or in fact that same day, I got home, I told my husband, I got caught by police, blah, blah, whatever. What did you do? Wasn't very happy, but I told him. The next day, my husband ran a red light, right? The lights just changed, he was caught by police. So now my husband tried to fake it till he thought he could make it. He told them, oh, you know what, I was just caught by police and they know I'm going somewhere, so please let me go. So that guy said, you were just caught by police? Yes, Harold just caught me. The guy goes, guess what, I'm Harold. So don't always try and fake it. You may not make it, right? So this is just about choosing your topic. Once you have your topic in hand, you need to work now on resources and refinement, right? The first most important thing, as I said, is to know your subject or your topic. For example, someone asks you, where is the best place to get steaks in Dar es Salaam? I know we are fasting. I'm also hungry, but just bear with my example. Best place for steaks in Dar es Salaam. They want to know about steaks. Telling them, you know what, right now it's not advisable to go out to eat. Why don't you go to this butchery? They have the best cuts of meat. I'll give you the recipe for the steak. You can make it at home. It'll be amazing. Will it hit the point? Will it serve the purpose? Someone is asking you about steaks, right? Give them the information they want. So when you are preparing for your speech, if you have picked a certain topic, make sure you try and stick to it. Okay, that's number one. Number two is when you are collecting your data, make sure you understand it and are able to show that you understand. I love stories. Here's another example. Every year, the past 10, 15 years, we go to India, holiday and medical checkup. Part of the checkup, of course, comes when the results come back. The doctor looks at me and says, Shirin, you need to lose weight. Yes, doctor, I know. I'll recommend you to a dietitian. So I go to the dietitian. The dietitian tells me all the things that we need to eat or not. Basically, the whole career of a dietitian is don't eat the good stuff, eat all the bad stuff, right? Simple. I've, told this to them. They never appreciated it, but anyway. So the dietitian told me, now look, Mrs. Jeraj, you need to lose 20 kilos. I said, 20 kilos, yeah. So he gave me a diet plan, explained to me everything. At the end of the time, he tells me, so the next time we meet in a year's time, I'm sure I'll see you, you'll be 20 kilos lighter. I'm like, no. He goes, what do you mean, no? I'm like, I won't be 20 kilos lighter. At the most, I'll say 5 kilos. So he looks at my husband. He goes, I know women like to bargain when they're shopping, but this is weight. What is she saying? She'll lose 5 kilos. And my husband's like, look at me, behave yourself. I said, doctor, sorry, no offense. Look at you. The doctor was like, not fat, very healthy, had a big beer belly. His buttons of his shirt were social distancing. At a time when there was no pandemic, the buttons were social distancing. I said, Doc, and then he tells me, and go for a walk twice a day, every morning and every night. I said, Doc, if I go for a walk at night, I'm telling you, I will be lighter because I'll get mugged, my kidneys, liver, all my organs will be taken. So night is not possible. Daytime, yes. I will try, but you don't inspire me. He didn't inspire me. A doctor, a dietitian who himself is 80 to 90 kilos is telling me to lose weight, is scolding me to lose weight. He thinks I'm going to lose weight. Went back to the hotel. First thing I did is had a chocolate milkshake. When you are talking about something, make sure you can convince the audience that you know what you're talking about, right? And then, once you have practiced enough, you've corrected your mistakes, you've asked someone to listen to your speech, you've recorded yourself, you've done all that. Then comes the hard and final part, which is now to conclude your speech. Every speech has 3 important segments to it. The beginning, the middle, and the conclusion. How you give the speech is essential, of course, but without keeping these things in mind, it's useless. It's like getting into a car, right? Which is the beginning. You start the car, start the engine, the car heats up, switch on your AC, roll down your windows, whatever you like. The second part of it is your destination, wherever you are headed. So that's the middle part of the speech. And when you reach your destination, that is the concluding part of your speech. You can't do one without the other. All 3 of them go hand in hand. So having kept all these things in mind, you can give an amazing speech. All other points that are further required, you'll be hearing from the other speakers. But before I end, there are 2 other points I want to make. One is your confidence level, right? See, skills can be taught. Attitude can't. I'll give you my own personal example. 5 years ago, I got a call. There was a vacancy at an embassy. And I was told at night that tomorrow there's an appointment, a slot. Why don't you go? I said, okay. Printed my CV, whatever, went the next day. When I got there for my appointment with the ambassador, I was so entranced by the ambassador, I forgot to give my CV. We had a nice long conversation. Towards the end of it, he said, you know what? The job is yours. I was like, oh, wow. Thanks. We negotiated the salary. As I got up to leave, the envelope that was holding my CV was on my lap. It fell down. And that's when I realized. I said, hold on, sir. I didn't give you my CV. He said, I don't need it. And I'm thinking, I've never worked in an embassy. Being a personal assistant to an ambassador is a big position. There's a lot of, what should I say, a lot of difficult technical things involved. You're dealing with the ministries, you're dealing with the government, the diplomatic circle. He goes, I said, are you sure you don't want to see my CV? He goes, yeah, I'm sure. And I asked him. He said, why not? And that's when he told me, he said, Shirin, skills can be taught overnight. Attitude can't. Confidence can't. So that's one thing. And the last thing, when you come to give your speech, for every one speech that you give, there are 3 speeches that you'll miss. Whenever you've spoken here, when you go back, the first speech that you'll have missed is the speech that you prepared. Farhan and I are known like not being able to follow a script, as are many other people. So the first part is not giving the speech you want. The second speech is the one that you do give. And the third speech is when you go back to your seat and you think, and I'm like, oh my God, I should have said this, I should have said that, and I didn't. So those are the 3 speeches everybody has in mind when they're giving a speech, right? Thank you so much. I hope this was a learning experience for you.